Hey, thanks for watching Meghan Like Us. We're reviewing episode 6 now. I can't believe we're this far into this one. And
who are you?
Who am I? I'm Danny.
And I'm Erin.
I think that's actually a very important thing to talk about because we're going to talk about what we call ourselves.
I mean, in this episode, we learned something about Meghan, which is that she refers to herself as Meg. And it's funny because I remember when the Netflix documentary about her and Harry came out, we also all learned that she calls Harry H, which is not a great nickname. I'm going to just be honest. But so we have Meg and H together.
Yes.
And what I realize is we all have versions of nicknames that we call ourselves. Like sometimes I call myself E. Some people automatically understand like the EJW of it all and they'll call me EJW.
Yeah.
But then other times I think people are just calling me EJW because they heard someone else do it. And then that feels like inauthentic. Like I don't like that. But honestly, nothing puts someone on my do not call, will not answer, you are blocked with a T, blocked list than when someone says Wesley Jones.
That's a firing in my case. As a Jones Wesley myself, I don't like that. I do have a very slight memory of someone calling us the Weasleys, though. And it was coincidentally at the same time that Harry Potter was big. So that was actually really funny.
The Weasleys.
The Weasleys. But my name's Danielle. Everyone calls me Danielle. People I went to school with call me Danielle. But if you know me very closely, you might call me Danny, which is why my Instagram is D is for Danny.
Unless you're her little sister and then you call her Danielle.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one for me because I feel like when people call me Danny too soon, I do feel like that sense of like, oh my God, like you don't know me like that. Like I do feel like that. And I didn't expect to have that feeling with that. But I do think that's how Meghan would feel if we were to call her Meg.
Probably. I like to think she's listening right now and is saying, you girls could call me Meg. That's my Meghan Markle impersonation.
Yeah, she'd be like, they're so cute. They can come to my house.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But let's not get too far into it. Let's get into the episode. It's episode 6. The juice is worth the squeeze. So as you know, I'm an athlete.
She's sporty.
I love a play-by-play. And so we're going to do a play-by-play of this episode. Let's get into it. So the episode starts as Meghan's telling us that she's going to host a game night with her friends and they're going to play Mahjong. And I want to pause there.
Yeah.
Because who are these women that are playing Mahjong with her? Not even that, like, we don't need to know exactly who they are, but
they are actually kind of important women a little bit.
Mahjong is so specific that, like, who are these friends that are like, we're going to start me and my girlfriends, we need to start a Mahjong tournament. Obviously, all these very successful ladies are sitting around playing Mahjong together. I need to download the app on my phone so I learn the rules.
I have not played Mahjong since DOS, the DOS operating system, but I'll download the app, I guess, and get started if I'm going to be going to parties with you.
Apparently so. So we go from her telling us about Mahjong, and now Meghan, in the last episode, we saw Meghan go to the flower mart and create a great flower arrangement. And I did make a comment about, like, what is this flower budget? What's going on here? In this episode, we see a more down-to-earth flower arrangement. Yeah. She is remaking flowers from the grocery store.
How do we make carnations look stunning and high-end by adding them with other flowers? So let's see what we can do.
She grabs an arrangement from the grocery store and she talks about that. Just because this is how the flowers came from the market doesn't mean that's how they need to stay. Yeah. And she does something super accessible. Again, not using a clear vase, but using a vase that's more opaque so you can't see the dirty water. She uses Scotch tape to put in the angles. And she just talks about that carnations are a flower that aren't really expensive, but they are really pretty and they don't get as much credit for being pretty as they deserve. And they're really the star of the show when she shows off her finished product of this beautiful flower arrangement. But before we get even deeper into this episode, Danny, what's on the menu?
Oh my gosh, the menu, I might have got everything. There is a big spread. Between last episode and this episode, I felt full just watching. But this episode, we're making chicken tinga. She talks about Mexican food actually being a big part of her culture in Southern California. Same. And so for that, she prepares plantain chips, guacamole, as she waits for a local chef, Chef Ramon, to help her cook. So that's pretty cool. we'll get through the rest of the spread as we get to it because this one is pretty hefty.
I love plantain chips. I feel like they're super underrated. And so going into this and seeing that that's kind of where we started the episode with her just chopping up the green bananas, adding some chili, lime, and salt, and tossing them together with cumin before roasting them on parchment paper. Yep. I was like, yes, I will be making these at home. I do just love a plantain chip. So Chef Ramon arrives and she makes him a spiced Americano, and then she compliments the chef on his food, and he humbly says he forgets how good the food is that he makes. He's like, oh, is it good? I don't know. Oh, you like my food? And it's like, obviously your food is so good. That's why Meghan invited you
to come over here. You're probably like the number one chef at the Mexican restaurant in Montecito. Honestly, like, it probably is. I didn't do the research, but I feel like that's where Chef Ramon works.
We love a humble king.
I also love that Meghan, I don't know if she has a past working in restaurants or if she just knows about this, but I didn't know about this, and I feel like I watch a lot of Food Network and I eat a lot of food. So this feels like something specific to this like niche amount of people that work in this industry or something. But basically she's like, I know you guys have really good meals because Chef Ramon tells her that this recipe that they're going to make today, the chicken tinga, originated from a chef that works in his kitchen at his restaurant. And so this is a meal that they were just serving just like amongst themselves to eat as like the dinner for the team. What do they call it?
A staff meeting.
Staff dinner.
A staff dinner.
So yeah, Meghan's like, oh yeah, staff dinner is the best dinner. I got to come back and go to your staff dinner. And I'm like, how do you know about that? She must have worked in a restaurant.
I love that she invited herself to the staff dinner though. She's like, oh yeah, the staff dinners are great. I'm coming to the next one. And the Chef Ramon is like, yeah, like you should come.
That is so black of her.
And I did love that she.
Aaron, that is so black of her.
I know she did invite herself.
I'm coming.
She said, "Oh, the food's good. Sign me up." And I do love that she did that.
Staff meals are always so much better at a restaurant sometimes than the one that you actually get out at service because it's the feeling of community. That's what I love so much about cooking and eating together. And sometimes when you're not overthinking a recipe, you're just thinking intuitively, and they're probably listening to the music, just cooking from their heart. I want to come for staff meal.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So they get started on the chicken tinga. And they start grinding the tomatoes, the chili powder, the stock. They add it to a pot to cook, and they start like shred boiling the chicken before adding it into the pot. Yeah. But now we're moving on to the drinks. So Meghan's in the backyard. She's grabbing lemons and she's chatting about being in a place that has a lot of citrus, like being from California. There's citrus readily available. And that she's just talking about how much she loves that. And now at this point, because she has so much citrus, she actually started preserving it. And so she says that she preserves her citrus in a dehydrator, which her mom purchased for her and got her a
also,
gift.
this is a like us for me because my mom has definitely purchased my air fryer.
You know, just sometimes moms are like, you need this thing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So she sings praises of the dehydrated citrus, and she's literally talking about this for such a long time. Like it almost becomes like a joke. Like she starts listing, you could use your dehydrator for anything. And it like starts being like the one time at band camp. And she's like, you could do like oranges and lemons and limes. She like does go on like a little tangent about it, which is really cute. But there is something that like I noticed in this part where Meghan's talking about having a slow life in a lot of ways, and like something about what she's encouraging, whether it's going down to like dehydrate your citrus and just taking your time to do these things to make your meals, one, feel better, but also a little bit more luxurious. Yeah. And I did really appreciate that she's talking about intentional living in this way.
Yeah, I feel like the big thing for Meghan, for me, is like similarly to how Anthony Bourdain showed us like where the food comes from in terms of like the culture and like the ingredients and where the food is like sourced. For Meghan, I think we're actually getting a similar thing where we're getting the point of view of lifestyle as it's actually things that are things that are going to ground you by being more in tune with your food. Mm-hmm. So like eating the lemons, checking out their life cycle, right? So like she's growing them in her backyard, that like, you can see that. She's eating them, she's pulling them off the tree. She's also, if they're going to pass away soon, dehydrating them so they can live a little longer and she can preserve them and maybe sell them. So I think like we've had a big separation. My personal opinion is we've had a big separation from where our food comes from and how we can interact with that. I mean, there's so many times that people are throwing away like chicken bones or like scraps of vegetables that Meghan already has said she's down to eat the whole kale. And I think that's a sustainable practice. And also it's a good idea to get connected to the sources of our food in a way that we're just literally connecting to the food. Like
100%. Yeah. Well, it's just more grounding.
It's more grounding. Yeah. And I think if you have that intention in your life to pay attention to that, it's going to spill over to other things and you'll probably end up living with more of an intention. And we don't need to throw away so many things. Some things are worth a second use or, and I think
100%.
Meghan is really showing us that food doesn't have to be something that's wasteful.
100%. Back to dinner with the chef. So they're making a simple ceviche to start, and it's going to have halibut, tiger's milk, and this is actually more of a Peruvian version of a ceviche.
Okay.
So they create a citrus blend with the blood orange. They use yuzu citrus, which is from Japan, some lime zest, some thinly sliced red onion, a carrot, and they throw it all into a blender and strain it. And in this, they start plating the fish with the sauce and the cucumbers and the melons. The raw halibut is cut into nice little squares. And Meghan is so excited about the food. She hugs the chef as she starts stealing a few bites from the finished bowl. But it's funny because as she's mixing, she starts complaining about how she's oh my God, my poor left arm is neglected. My right arm is getting so strong. And it just made me laugh because I grew up playing softball. And I was a pitcher, so my right arm was very strong to the point where my left arm was also my neglected arm. And my mom and my sister used to giggle at me Erin has that weak little left arm. And so Meghan being my arm is neglected. I was me too, girl. That was a like us for me.
I think everyone has the one strong side, but not everyone has a chance to really build on it. And I think it also is a callback to Delphi's salt shaking muscle.
100%.
Yeah. It's a joke because it's real.
Yeah, 100%. Also, in this, while they're using the blender, we do get one quirky Meghan joke where the chef is hitting the blender. And she's what did that blender do to you? And he doesn't even acknowledge that she told a joke, which makes it even better, actually.
All the men feel they're a little bit they're oh my God, we don't want to be offensive. You could tell they're on their best royal behavior in front of her. Even Roy Choi, which he's a rowdy LA guy usually, so it was funny to see him also prior episodes be buttoned up. And then the chef Ramon, who he's clearly just one of the guys. And
100%.
he's just okay, I gotta be on today.
Exactly. Well, so now the food is done and Meghan's friends start arriving. She's chopping up veggies for, of course, a crudité because that is the number one thing that gets made on the show.
Crudité all day.
Crudité all day. That should be a shirt. Her friend Tracy arrives early. Tracy came before her call time, apparently. Tracy was on time. She starts on cocktails for everyone. The group is split in half. So there's spicy margaritas and there's half just regular margaritas. And Meghan and Tracy are talking about that they love a spicy cocktail. And so they shake everyone's margaritas in a mason jar and then does little name tags. And this is what we started the episode off with. Whereas Meghan's writing everyone's names on the tags, she writes Meg for herself. And the cameraman calls it out and says, I've never seen what you call yourself, but you call yourself Meg. And she reflects in that and says, yeah, I guess I do.
Oh, hi.
And there's a really cute moment where she probably also hasn't thought of that before. No one's probably brought it to her attention. So then the friends enjoy the margaritas. They bring out the food. They start with their Mahjong. And, they're back into the starting of the business. So all the friends are kind of sitting around playing the game. And her friend suggests that Meghan writes a cookbook. Again, we have another friend being Meghan, you're such a great chef. This food's amazing. As they're eating the tacos, one friend makes a comment that she's thank God this isn't too spicy. Meghan's I thought of you. I was trying to be for everyone this time.
She made non-spicy margaritas for the other half.
Yeah, and made sure that the chicken tinga also wasn't too spicy, which that can have a kick to it sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
So they all have their glasses. They start playing Mahjong, and it's really cute. They just gush about their community of friends. And, it seems to me, a lady Mahjong group is aspirational. We need a game night with the girls.
I need a game night with the girls, but we need the cocktails because the drinks were great. The chicken tinga looked great. I don't know Chef Ramon, but I'm going to text him or something. Find him on IG. He needs to provide.
We need the chicken tinga.
We need the chicken tinga. It looked good.
So how many like us do you think there were this episode?
For me, really, I love my friends and I love the love that they give me. So that's a like us for me. And then a spicy margarita will always also find me well.
I do love a spicy margarita, especially with a tahini on the rim. Chicken tinga is my jam. And the plantain chip. So the meal in general was a meal that I thoroughly enjoy and I get at restaurants. So I loved that. But mostly the biggest like us was that she was playing game night with her friends. Now, my friends and I, we don't do Mahjong. We usually play like fishbowl or something that gets the community going. So like
Uno, what's the one we were playing? Monopoly Go?
Monopoly Deal has been a huge one.
Yeah,
like in my, like with my in-laws and my siblings, like we all are just playing Monopoly Deal right now.
Your siblings are right here on this couch.
Well, I have in-laws too, and we're all playing Monopoly Deal, and it gets very competitive. So that's been a big one. But yeah, that I feel like those are kind of the likes us this episode. They're not that many, but the ones that are, they resonate deeply. Thanks for listening to us. Don't forget to tune in to Like Us Pod on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And you can also follow us personally. I'm at Erin Jones Wesley on all socials.
And I'm Diaz for Danny. We love you for watching. Thank you so much.